Alright guys, welcome. Let's talk about what's up this week, shall we? This week begins on the 28th of December 2020 and ends on the 3rd of January 2021. That is kind of a really big deal, don't you think? I think it is. So this week has a full moon and some grand trines and a lot of T-squares, and so let's get right into it, okay? So on Monday, we start off Monday with a Gemini moon, right, squaring Neptune. And Venus is kind of a challenging aspect to Saturn, right? So we might feel a little bit constricted, and we also might feel a little bit, that's just funny, 2 4s. We might feel a little bit unclear, right? Unclear on our wants versus our needs as it happens. And you know, I mean, that's okay. That's what life is all about, right? Clarifying our wants and our needs. And then on Tuesday, we have a big giant full moon in Cancer at 8 degrees Cancer. And this is kind of a big deal, right? I have said already, this is like a bookend to the full moon that began our year. That full moon happened on the 10th of January at 20 Cancer. And that's a big deal, guys. That's a really big deal. It happened on the same day that Uranus went direct as well. So that, you know, I like the punctuation aspect of this full moon. So the full moon happens in Cancer, which means that it's opposing the sun in Capricorn. We have talked exhaustively about Capricorn energy, right? Capricorn energy is about function and usability and authority and structure and practicality, right? And what is the moon? The antithesis of all of those things, right? It's about intuition and emotion and feeling and instinct and impulse. In Cancer, it's about nurturing and roots and origin and tribe. And so what have we learned this year? We have learned about our emotions, right? We have learned how we feel. And hopefully we have learned that how we feel has to take precedence over our practical natures, because if our heart is not driving our construction, then we have a faulty foundation from the very, very beginning. And even though Capricorn is literally master architect energy, if heart is not the cement of every project, you know, there's really nothing to build on. Then you get a house of cards, and that doesn't last very long, right? We also have a big old square to Chiron, right, the same day. And so there is an imperative, right? We know Chiron is about healing, specifically about our emotional healing at this Cancer moon. And so there's an imperative, literally an imperative, that you get right with your heart. And that's just the way it's got to be, y'all. That's just the way that it's got to be. If the heart is not right, nothing will stay, right? Nothing will stick. We've also got Mercury at 14 Capricorn, so that will be conjunct the sun. Yep, the sun. And so that's about really putting yourself into your expression. And what better way to put yourself into your expression than to than to do it from your heart, right? To put your heart into your expression. So anyway, this is a beautiful full moon in terms of closure to the 2020 energy. And then on Wednesday, we have Venus squaring Neptune, right? So this is energy that, so as we have this Sag energy, Sagittarius Venus, right? So this is about experience, how we experience love. And Neptune has been in Pisces for quite a long time. We know that this is literally the depth of our imagination, the depth of how we can feel beyond what we can even express. And so as Venus, this experiential Venus in Sagittarius that wants to know everything, that wants to dive deeply into the experience of everything, right, is squaring Neptune. We might be challenged in terms of how we feel that and what we discern as we pursue our experiential options, right? The moon, however, will be opposite Mercury and trining Neptune on this day. So again, we are asked, lead with your heart, lead with your heart. And then on Thursday, which is New Year's Eve, right? The last day of 2020. Can I get a hallelujah? Yeah. Okay, so first of all, we have Venus conjunct the South Node, right? So South Node is about our gifts. Also then opposing the North Node in Gemini. So this is about the potential of our destiny, right? And so they're both squaring Neptune. So this is about really getting in touch with your illusions and your real feelings about what you want to create in terms of your real and practical experience in the year 2021. You have options. You are driving your bus. You are not riding in your bus, right? This is your life. You're steering. You are you're not only steering, but you are the car, and you are the driver, and you are the rider, and you are the road, and you are the journey, and you are the destination. So this is really losing all your illusions about the fact that I'm just a traveler here in this crazy, wild experience that we call life. Well, yes, but you also have all of those other roles to play as well. And you don't get to just sit back and say, I'll just go where I end up. No, 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 no. No, enjoy the journey, yes, but recognize that you are getting yourself exactly where you're supposed to be. And you're making choices along the way, too. So, especially when we're talking about the nodes and Venus and Neptune, it's really about feeling into what you know to be true, right? Using your gifts to discern your direction. Here's the deal. The moon moves into Leo, right? So we get this certain fiery bigness about our hearts and our emotions. We want to see and be seen. Leo, again, is experiential fire energy, right? And so the moon moves into opposition past Saturn and Jupiter, both in Aquarius. So, wow, I love it when that happens. So this is about being asked to really sink in to how you want to feel into your own expansion. Do you want to be the star of your show? And how are you going to do it, right? It is time. You got to be the star of your show. That's the way this energy is working. And how do you do that? You realize that you're driving the bus. You are the bus. You're the passenger. You're the path, and you're the journey, and you're the destination. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. So then also that Leo moon squares a Uranus Taurus. So please expect that Your feelings might undergo some seismic and tectonic shifts. All of a sudden, on New Year's Eve, you might realize, nope, this is not what I want to do. Or, wait, I want to be doing that. Wait, as I'm here, this is my path, but I realize I can drive over that way or over that way. And those revelations and realizations about your resources, tangible and intangible, right? How you want to experience the world. Taurus is ruled by Venus, right? And we know that Venus is very heavily energetically injected in this day. And so this is all about really figuring out where you want to go, what you want to create, and how you want to roll into 2021, gang. And it does not have to be the same way you rolled through 2020. Let's hope it's not. On Friday the 1st, Mercury sextiles Neptune. And so that is kind of an easement, right? So this gives us a little bit of expressive clarity in terms of how we want to express those things that are better felt than expressed, right? We get a better idea of how we might actually put that into the world on that day. And Venus does a little dance with Uranus, right? And so that shakeup that you felt on the 31st might come into play, like, I'm not so sure. And then you solidify, right? On Friday. Yeah, absolutely. This is the day that you realize, oh, I do have some very, very big dreams, but I also have the possibility and the methods and the practicality of bringing them into creation. And then on Saturday, the 2nd, right, we have a Leo moon and an Aries Mars, right? But we also have a fire trine, right? With that moon, with that Aries Mars and Venus in Sag, we have this beautiful grand fire trine. So again, Venus is super busy this week. So, Venus and Aries, Venus and Mars, they really love one another, and they, when they are trine, that's beautiful energy. And so to add that moon, right? And this is all about fire. So this is about literally how we feel and experience love and life and ourselves in those relationships and in that interplay, right? So all of that fire that we have on that day, all this kind of awareness comes to play on that Saturday. This is the day to put things into action. And then on the 3rd, right, we have a very weak Earth trine with the moon and the sun and Uranus. So again, you might be shaking things up by the end of this week in ways you might roll out of this week in a very different energy than you roll into it. So keep an open everything for that. So let's talk about Monday, right? So Monday we have the 4 of Swords and the Chariot. So the Chariot is about balanced forward motion, right? The Chariot he's driving 2 horses. And so as he moves forward, his goal is to stay balanced, right? And not veer off course to one side or the other. Now, as we talk about, you are the driver, you are the path, right? You get to choose which way is straight, which way is forward, which way you're going. And how do you do that? Sometimes you have to get quiet. So let's talk about the 4 of Swords for a minute, right? This is a card of ideas. And so the 4 of Swords is about rest, meditation, introspection, right? The 3 of Swords is the card of loss, of heartache, of sadness, of literally abject, just, I've lost everything, right? Add one more sword and you have the 4 of Swords, which is about getting quiet, learning the lessons, right? And the lessons are how you know which way to go, how you know which direction to steer, how you learn that you are the journey and you are the vessel and you are the captain and you are the path and you are the destination and you are all of those things. This is how you learn, right? So keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. Because the next day we've got the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. This is our full moon day, right? So we've got the Sun conjunct Mercury, and we've got that square to Chiron, right? So all right. Chiron, remember, is about healing. And what is unhealing? Unhealing is a state of being triggered, right? So look at that. The Seven of Wands is about being in defense mode, right? Defending oneself or defending what matters, right? So we can defend what matters. That makes perfect sense. Or we can defend what we're holding on to, right? Four of Pentacles is about, it can be an energy of saving, right? But it can also be an energy of kind of like holding on to old, unnecessary, outdated things. And in relation to Chiron, that's exactly what that is. So as we approach this full Cancer moon, this bookend moon to our beginning of our year, we're really being asked, let that old shit go. Let it go. Move past it. There is no sense in defending what is already moved forward. There's no sense in defending what you have learned a lesson of, right? There is no sense in holding on to something if you simply have to hold on and expend energy to hold on to it. That makes no sense. And at that beautiful full moon time of release, think about that. Think about those things that you've been carrying all year long. The hurts, right? These Three of Swords, pains that have kept you veering around and around in a circle, right? What happens if you're not steering forward? You end up just going in a circle, in a circle, in a circle. So once you have clarity, once you know what matters, right? Absolutely. On Wednesday, Venus squares Neptune, and the moon opposes Mercury and trines Neptune, right? So again, we're talking about introspection, right? Again, we're talking about being in touch with one's inner self, one's inner light, right? Being in touch with all of those things that are intuitively learned, right? This Neptune energy. Knight of Wands is about moving forward, right? It's about knowing what's important as you move forward, right? And that's key. Once you gain the insight, you have to know what your inspiration is, what sets you on fire, right? That's what wands are all about. What puts the juice in your day? What gets you out of bed every morning? You have to know those answers before you can take this step forward. Always, you have to know your why. On Thursday, the 31st. Okay, so remember that this is the day where we have that big T square. The moon moves into Leo. We've got the moon opposing Saturn and Jupiter and squaring Uranus, right? So again, being aware that new information might come to light. So we've got the Six of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so the Six is about really it's about being generous. It's about knowing what you have and what you can give away. It's about balance, right? This is the minor card for justice. So this is about balance and harmony and fairness, right? And it's about knowing what you have and what you're willing to give, what you wish to give, what you are called to give. The Three of Pentacles is about working, and it's a card of community. It's a card of working together, right? So perhaps this is a card that asks us to be in openness to the ways that we might work together, as opposed to now that the sun now that Saturn and Jupiter are in Aquarius, right? Ways that we can extend our generosity, ways that we're not so bound up by the things of the past, right? Ways that we are opening to give of ourselves, right? Things that we had to learn the hard way, things that we had to master over time. On Friday, again, we've got Venus and Uranus, and that Capricorn Mercury sextiling Neptune. So again, we've got the Three of Pentacles here, just walking us right into this day. We've also got the Four of Pentacles again. So our week is really, the lessons are the lessons this week. So we've got the Three of Pentacles, right? Mastery, working together, working hard, learning skills, right? Learning, not being so quick to move into judgment, but learning, patience, trying, not being afraid to make attempts at learning, right? And then the Four of Pentacles, also about not hoarding our things, not holding on to our old patterns, right? Being really ready to release whatever it is that's been holding us back. With that Venus-Uranus aspect here, this is going to be about shaking up your ideas about love, about money, about relationships. Definitely not holding on to this pattern that you've been in for the last however, right? We know that Uranus is in Taurus. And so this is about really trying to find that resourced, higher level of resourcing, right? As opposed to just being like King Midas and keeping everything to yourself. This is about releasing and allowing your expression, right, of that in your heartedness, that creation aspect, that willingness to recognize where your effort is warranted, right, will do you some good. And then on Saturday, like I said, we've got that beautiful Grand Fire trine with a Leo moon, an Aries Mars, and a Sagittarius Venus. And we have Temperance twice. Temperance is a card of combining, of alchemy, of new ways to be in creation, right? So all of this learning, all of this expanding, all of this reconsidering, all of these awarenesses of how we've been holding on to things. And again, what's important, right? What gets your juices flowing? This day is asking you, you have to put that into the mix, right? We have the beautiful sunrise in the back. We've got this absolutely divine presence here, granting you this newness, granting you this new year on the 2nd of January 2021, right? And so as we use our ideas, right, all of these ideas here, all of the things that we've had to heal from and defend and really get in touch with and find new ways to balance and create and recreate, we are asked to hold space for the new way we can exist and the new way that we can serve and the new way that we can experience our emotions, right? This is all about finding a way to heal, right? To recreate, right? From those old energies. And then on Sunday, we've got that weak Earth trine, right? But look here. We've got the Magician, we've got the Ace of Swords. Again, this is about those new ideas and being able to put them into creation, right? Ace of Swords, we know aces are gifts from Creator, and they must not only be recognized, they must be accepted, and then they must be put into action, right? We go from inaction to action, right? And the Magician is the master, right? He has mastered all of those elements, and he is ready to not just wield his power, but to wield his mastery of his power as a manifester, as a creator. And, you know, we've got flowers all around here. This is about abundance and love and the infinite, right? We create from source. We create from source energy. We don't just drive the bus. We are the bus, right? We're not using our energy to create. We're using source energy to create. And so in all of the ways that we're asked to really recognize our patterns, it's so that we can create again, right? It's so that we can, wow, hey, not a one of them up. Okay. It's so that we can create new patterns, right? Without going back to the old, right? It's so that you can create in newness, in love, from your awareness, from your wisdom, right? What's the point of the Four of Swords? It's to process your wounds, right? It's to create again. It's to learn the lessons and then not to hold on to the old patterns. Don't be defensive. Let it go. Allow the light to illuminate what's going to bring you joy and then work on it, right? Let the divine direct you in terms of creation and recreation so that not only are you in that position to create what you want in acceptance of your own expression of divine mastery, but with all of the power of the divine behind it. You know, you don't get two angels on a Saturday and then not have the power to do something about it on a Sunday. That just doesn't happen. It's not how it works. All right. Yang. I love it. We get the number one card for the first reading of the year. Okay, so let's have this conversation here, shall we? Woo. The masculine principle of movement and creative activity. That's all over this reading, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. The power to make things happen. Taking action. What did I talk about? You are not riding this bus of your life. You're driving it. You're creating the road. You're creating the conditions. You're creating the weather, right? Get with that. Taking action. Yang represents the power of action, the energies that propel the world forward. And the manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. We did get the Three of Pentacles twice and the Four of Pentacles twice, right? Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny. I am saying to you, that is what I've said this entire time. Woof. Show me. Okay, last week we talked about it's not enough to know. You got to show, right? This is the week. It's not enough to know, right? We've got those big Uranus seismic activities. We've got a full moon in Cancer. We've got all of this T-square and Grand Trine energy, right? We've got, on Saturday, we've got that beautiful Grand Fire Trine. Show me. Show me. Show me. Show me. Show me. You've learned it. Now show me. This is your opportunity. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look, so next week, Oh, next week more stuff happens. I will tell you this. Next week more stuff happens. Yeah, that's true. It always happens that way. Oh boy. Here's what I do want to say out loud though. Now I want to put it into the air. The first new moon of 2021 is at 23 degrees Capricorn on the 13th. I realize that is not until 2, right? Weekly What's Ups from now. But I want you to get into this. I want you to wrap your mind around this right now. That first new moon at 23 degrees Capricorn. If we have this Cancer full moon bookend for the full moons, that new moon happens 1 degree off the Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto conjunction that started this entire crazy wild 2020 year back in January of 2020. Okay? The universe does not make mistakes. The universe does not give you coincidences, right? The universe is super direct. The universe is super readable if you pay attention. So here's what I'm telling you. This next lunar cycle is enormous in terms of how we create what comes next. So pay attention, right? Pay attention. Be in it. What were your lessons? What do you want 2021 to look like? What do you want it to look like? Make your decisions, please, because it's here, right? We are in transition. The transition is here, my friends. It's here now. So get right with it. Get right with it. Get right with where you've been. Get right with where you're going. Drive the bus. Drive the bus. Big love, big giant blessings. We will talk on the full moon for sure. And perhaps, before again next week. Big blessings. And until next time.